The air in the room shifted before anything was even said. It was subtle, like a change in barometric pressure, something primal. My skin felt it before my brain did. She was laughing, that same brittle, high-pitched laugh that she only pulls out when she's pretending. And I saw it. Not in slow motion, not with dramatic music. Just saw it. Her hand on his forearm, her thumb moving in a slow, lazy circle over his sleeve like she'd forgotten the world was watching. Her eyes glassy from the wine or something else locked on his mouth, not his eyes. That's a language I understand. That's the kind of attention I have not seen from her in months. That look used to be mine. Now it was sold off cheap in a room full of people who all pretended not to see it. I stood across the patio, drink untouched in my hand, jaw tight, hard, hammering so hard I thought the glass might crack from the tremor in my fingers. Jason's party was in full swing. Lighting lights above us, laughter, music, clinking glasses. It was supposed to be one of those nights, celebration, reconnection, the comfort of familiar people. I'd actually been looking forward to it. I told myself, maybe tonight she'll actually talk to me. Maybe she'll stop staring at her phone long enough to remember I exist. Madison was beautiful that night. She wore this deep red dress that wrapped around her waist like a secret. Her hair was up but messy on purpose. She looked the way people look when they want to be noticed, but only by a specific person. And that person was not me. She'd been distant for weeks. The kind of distant that does not come with shouting matches or slamming doors, just a slow fade of everything good. Her good morning kisses turned into mumbled noises. The way she used to touch my shoulder in the kitchen, gone. Her laugh, her scent, her eyes, all somehow repurposed for someone else, and I did not even realize it until she was right there giving another man her thumbprint. His name was Ben. Of course it was Ben. She'd brought him up before casually, like someone mentions traffic or the weather. Ben said that meeting was brutal. Ben's hilarious. You'd like him. Ben's helping with the Denver project. Yeah. I bet he is. I crossed the patio, pushing through clusters of people I did not even see. She did not notice me until I was a foot away. He looked up first. Ben did not have the decency to look nervous. Just surprised. Like I was the one intruding on something sacred. Madison followed his gaze, and when she saw me, her expression did not shift the way I expected. No guilt. No fear. Just this half-smile, like she was watching a mildly interesting plot twist on TV. And then she said it. Right there. With his hand still close enough to her knee to call it what it was. You know I love you, right? It was not a question. It was an insult. A slap in a silk glove. The kind of line people say to manipulate toddlers. Or fools. The worst part? My first instinct was to say I know. I stood there. For 3 seconds? 5? A lifetime? I do not remember what I said, if anything. I just turned. My feet moved before the rest of me caught up. I walked out. Through the clatter of wine glasses, through the echo of conversations that meant nothing, past people who glanced but said nothing. I did not even know if she watched me go. The parking garage was silent. I sat in the car, keys in my hand, not starting the engine. I stared at my fingers, willing them to stop shaking. I did not cry. I did not scream. I just sat. The phone buzzed once. Her name. A text. Hope you did not leave because of that. Come back, babe. I read it. Then I deleted it. And drove home to an empty house that still smelled like her. That was 4 days ago. I have not touched her things. I have not opened her closet. I just sit on the edge of our bed sometimes and try to remember the last time she looked at me like she did him. I see a knot. I genuinely see a knot. The next morning was unreal. Waking up in that house, our house where everything looked exactly the same but absolutely nothing was, I see a knot even describe the dissonance. Her coffee mug as still in the sink. Her hair tie wrapped around the bathroom faucet like she'd only left for a jog. I stood in the kitchen barefoot, staring at the floor where she used to stand, brush and crumbs off the counter while scrolling Instagram. And I just stood there. My phone lit up again. Madison, can we talk? I did not answer. I did not even open it. I just watched the screen fade back to black like her message did not deserve light. Around noon, the front door opened. I should have locked it. I do not know why I did not. Maybe I wanted this part to happen. Maybe I needed it. She walked in like she still lived here. Like nothing had happened. Like the night before had not carved something out of me and left it bleeding on Jason's rooftop. Hey, she said, her voice light, almost amused. She was holding an iced coffee. Like she'd just come back from errands. So we were not going to talk about last night. I stared at her. That's all I could do. She set the coffee down and gave me this look like I was the one being dramatic. Oh my God! Are you really mad about Ben? I did not say anything. She let out a breathy laugh like I was being difficult on purpose. Eric, come on. It was flirting, harmless. You've never flirted with anyone before. Still I said nothing. She stepped closer. You're overreacting. And that's when I spoke. Was it just flirting the last 3 months you've been leaving early and coming home late? That caught her. Her lips parted. No sound. You think I have not noticed the perfume that is not yours? The shower running at 11 p.m.? The way you've been hiding your phone like it's a nuclear launch button? Silence. Tell me it was just flirting, Madison. I want to hear you say that. She rolled her eyes. Rolled her eyes like I was asking if the sky was blue. Okay, so I've been seeing him. A little. Emotionally. Not physically. Not physically? I repeated back to her. The taste of the lie like copper in my mouth. She shrugged. I did not mean for it to happen. Okay? It just did. You've been distant. You never touch me anymore. You come home from work tired. You've been boring. Boring. Your word hit harder than any confession of cheating ever could have. That was not frustration. That was contempt. She said it like I was a plate of cold food she'd been pretending to eat for months. I laughed. Quiet, humorless. You blaming this on me? Well, she said, folding her arms. You did check out of this marriage before I did. You just do not want to admit it. There it was. The classic redirect. Make me the villain. Marriage accountability like it's a job interview question. I could see her rehearsing it in her head. Every twist of the narrative to make herself the wounded party. Poor Madison. Trapped in a passionless marriage with a man who made her feel invisible. She forgot the part where she vanished first. I did not yell. I did not throw anything. I did not call her names. I just said, I want you to leave. Her arms dropped. Are you serious? Take your stuff. Go stay with Ben or whoever. I do not care. Just get out of this house. You kicking me out of my own home? It's not your home anymore. And just like that, her entire expression shifted. The fake innocence. The little smug curl of her lip. The dramatics. All gone. What was left underneath was something hard. Something cold. Like a mask she did not need anymore. Wow. She said flatly. You really going to throw away everything over this? I almost laughed again. You threw it away first. I'm just cleaning up. She stood there for a minute, probably waiting for me to cave to backtrack. When I did not, she grabbed her phone, marched to the bedroom, started yanking clothes off hangers. No tears. No breakdown. Just mechanical packing and muttering under her breath about overreacting and how no one's perfect. And she finally walked out, suitcase in hand. She did not say goodbye. She just slammed the door hard enough to rattle the frames on the wall. And I stood in the living room alone, surrounded by furniture we picked together, walls we painted together, a life I thought we built together. And I realized for the first time that what we built was not a home. It was a stage set. And she was done playing her role. 3 days passed after she walked out. I did not tell anyone. But yet, I was not ready for the questions. What happened? Are you guys okay? Did something go down? I could not stand the idea of people looking at me with that pity in their eyes. That soft, slow nod people give when they relieved it's not their life falling apart. I was on autopilot. Wake up. Feed the dog. Go to work. Come home. Avoid the silence that now felt like a third presence in the house. Bowie. Our dog. Search the front door like she might walk back through it. I did not have the heart to tell him she would not. Then came the email. Not a call. Not a message. An email. Subject. Let us be adults about this. I should have ignored it. I should have deleted it on sight. But I clicked it. Inside was a list of the things she wanted from the house. The espresso machine. Her desk. The gray armchair she never sat in. Half the living room decor. 2 framed prints she bought from some overpriced Etsy shop. She ended the list with, "Let me know when I can swing by and grab these. I'll bring Ben to help." Then she said it like he was just another friend with a strong back. Like she had not just detonated our marriage and was now casually suggesting she bring the guy she replaced me with to come play moving service. I stared at that line for maybe 20 minutes. Then I replied, "Do not bring him. Do not ever bring him here. You want your things? Fine. But you come alone." She responded within 5 minutes. "You read being dramatic. He is just helping." I did not answer. And I did not sleep that night. The next morning I sent her a time. Sunday. 2 p.m. I'd leave the house with Bowie so I would not have to see her. But Sunday came and I stayed. I do not know why. Maybe I needed to see her one last time. Maybe I thought part of me still wanted an apology. Something sincere. Some tiny scrap of regret. I stood behind the curtains and watched her car pull into the driveway. Alone. She came to the door like she still lived there. Did not even knock. Just opened it with the key she still had. I watched her stop short when she saw me sitting in the chair by the window. "Oh," she said. "You here." I changed my mind. She hesitated. Then moved past me. She kept collecting her things like we were strangers dividing the spoils after a failed business deal. She did not speak. Neither did I until I saw her reach for my grandfather's watch on the shelf. "Leave that," I said. She paused. "He gave it to us." "No," I said, standing. "He gave it to me. You just like the box it came in." She narrowed her eyes. Then scoffed and turned back to packing. That should have been the end of it. She was silent, clean. But of course it was not. She was halfway through taping up a box when her phone buzzed. She looked down, smirked, then walked into the kitchen, left her phone on the counter, screen still lit up. I was not going to look. But I did. Then. "Still want me to come over after?" "See, not wait to see you in that little black set again." My chest did not hurt. That's the weird part. It was like reading a message meant for someone else's nightmare. Some other guy's humiliation. She came back around the corner, saw me holding the phone, and froze. "You went through my phone?" "No," I said calmly. "It was just there." She snatched it from my hand and stepped back like I'd slapped her. "That's private. You do not get to go through my private things anymore." I tilted my head. "But you already gave him everything private, did not you?" Then she smiled. Not sheepishly. Not nervously. A full smile. Sharp. "Mean. You never made me feel the way he does," she said softly. The room spun. Not because I did not expect it, but because she said it like it was a kindness. Like she was offering me closure wrapped in poison. She picked up her last box, turned to the door, and added over her shoulder, "I'll have the lawyer contact you." She did not close the door gently behind her. And just like that, she was gone again. But this time, something inside me felt clean. Ruined, yes. But clean. Like I'd finally seen the rotted core behind the polished surface. Let her have the espresso machine. Let her have the armchair and the prints, and the black lingerie she wore for him. I did not want any of it anymore. What she took was not the life we built. What she left behind was the truth. The first few days after she took her boxes and slammed the door felt like that moment after a car crash, when everything goes silent and your body has not figured out it's in pain yet. I moved through the house like a ghost. No TV. No music. Just silence. Bowie started following me from room to room. Sensing something was off. He would not eat for a while. Neither did I, really. Then the text started again. Not from Madison. From people. Mutual friends. Old co-workers. Even Jason. All of them reaching out with that same cautious energy. Like they were walking across a frozen lake. Not sure if it would crack. Hey man, just checking in. Everything good with you and Mads? Sorry to hear what happened. I did not want to say anything. But bro, I did not know if I should tell you this. And then came the leaks. Photos. Screenshots. DMs. At first it was just one sent by Jason's cousin. A grainy photo from the rooftop party. Madison on Ben's lap. His hand definitely not where it should have been. Her head tilted back in a way that used to belong to me. I stared at it for a while, not even angry. Just numb. Then another message came in. From a girl I barely knew but had seen around our social group. Hey, I know we do not know each other that well. But I thought you should know. She's been messing around with Ben for at least 6 months. Maybe longer. She bragged about it to one of my friends. 6 months. The timeline unraveled in my mind like a crime scene board. Every late night. Every client dinner. Every cold shoulder in bed. I'd spent half a year blaming myself. Thinking maybe I was boring. Maybe I had stopped trying. Now, she did not just fall into this. She built it. On purpose. Lied every single day. Got into our bed after being with him. Told me she loved me. Smiled at me across dinner. Sent texts like, "See, I not wait to see you tonight." Right before walking in the door and barely making eye contact. I went digging. Not to punish myself. At least that's what I told myself. I just wanted the truth. I found a hidden album on our shared iCloud. She must have forgotten it synced to my email too. Photos of hotel rooms. Wine glasses. A beach trip she told me was a girl's weekend. Except I now saw Ben's reflection in her sunglasses in one of the selfies. His arm around her waist in another. They were not just hooking up. They were playing house. And I was the guy footing the bills, washing the sheets they probably laughed about behind my back. But the final straw did not come from a message or a photo. Came 2 weeks later when I walked into the local hardware store. I was picking up some paint samples. Being stupid. I just needed to do something. And there she was. With him. They were in line ahead of me. She did not see me at first. She was laughing. Tucked into his side like some teenager in love. He was holding a small shelf organizer and some hooks. My hooks. The kind I'd installed in our entryway. I guess she liked them enough to copy them in her new life. And then she turned. Her eyes met mine. And she did not flinch. Not even a gasp. Just this mild smirk. Like she'd expected to see me. Like I was just another face in her past. She did not say hi. Did not wave. Did not do a damn thing. She just turned back to him and kissed his cheek. I left my cart in the aisle and walked out. That night, I sat on the back porch with a bottle of bourbon I'd been saving for our anniversary. I poured one glass. Toasted the darkness. And drank to the realization that the woman I loved had never loved me. Just the version of me that was useful. The version that paid for her yoga classes and asked about her day and believed every one of her ridiculous lies. She was not just unfaithful. She was a performance artist. And I'd clapped for the show for 9 straight years. No more. I did not plan to see her again. Not in person. Not for anything. But the universe, or maybe just life's twisted sense of humor, had other plans. It was a Thursday late afternoon. I had taken a half day off work because I just could not pretend anymore. The weight of everything. The betrayal. The memories. The way she looked at him in that hardware store like I never existed. It had started sinking into my chest like wet concrete. I was halfway through folding laundry when the doorbell rang. I figured it was a package. Maybe groceries. I did not think she would ever be dumb enough to show up unannounced. But there she was. Standing on my porch like nothing had changed. Like she had not atom-bombed our marriage and walked away humming. Her hair was pulled back. No makeup. She wore that same damn gray hoodie she always borrowed from me and never gave back. I felt a jolt in my stomach looking at it. That hoodie had been a comfort once. Now it was just a costume. "Hey," she said. Like she'd just come by to drop off Tupperware. I did not say anything. Just stared at her. I figured we should talk. "No," I said, my voice flat. "We should not. Eric, come on. Do not be like this." "Like this? Like what? Cold? Guarded? Like someone who finally saw her for who she was?" "I just need to clear the air," she said. "It's been weird. And I think we owe each other some honesty." I laughed. It was not a happy laugh. It was a broken, biting thing. "Now you want honesty?" She flinched at that. "Good. Let it sting." "I've been doing a lot of thinking," she said, stepping closer. "About everything. About us. About what went wrong." I held up a hand. "No. You do not get to rewrite the story now. You do not get to pretend this was a mutual slide into disconnection. You lied. You cheated. For months. You only came clean when you got caught with your tongue down your co-worker's throat in front of half our friends." She pressed her lips together. I could see the cracks forming in her cool expression. "I did not mean to hurt you, Eric." "Of course you did not," I snapped. "You just did not care if you did." Silence. She looked down. But I was not finished. "You used me. You needed a stable guy to lean on while you played pretend with your little office boy toy. I was the fallback plan. The bank. The emotional punching bag. And when that got boring, you found someone who made your stomach flutter for 5 minutes and ran straight to him like you found religion." She looked up. Angry now. "You reacting like I'm some kind of monster." I stepped closer. "You're worse. Monsters do not smile while they lie." That hit her. Her jaw clenched. And for a second, I saw the real her. No sad eyes. No innocent victim. Just a woman who took everything we built and pawned off for attention. "Do you love him?" I asked. I do not know why I did. Maybe I needed to hear the worst. Maybe I wanted to see if she'd finally be real with me. She hesitated. Then shrugged. "I do not know. It's different." I nodded slowly. "You know what's different? I would have done anything for you. Anything. I gave you everything I had. And you took it like it was spare change." She crossed her arms. "This is why I left. You always playing the martyr." "Do not spin this," I said low and sharp. "Do not you dare spin this." We stood there in a storm of silence. Then she shook her head and turned toward the steps. "Fine." I tried. She reached the bottom, then looked back one last time. "You'll regret pushing me away." And I said it without blinking. "No. I regret not seeing you for who you were sooner." She did not reply. She just walked to her car, got in and pulled out of my driveway for the last time. And that finally was the real goodbye. There was no closure. No tears. No dramatic apology. Just the door clicking shut behind her and the faint smell of her perfume lingering in the hall like a lie that had not quite finished dying. But I did not chase her. I sat down on the couch, looked around the hollow home I now had to rebuild, and for the first time in a long time, I felt something almost like peace. Because she was gone. And now, finally, I could start putting myself back together without her dragging me down into the wreckage she created. Peace is a weird thing. You expected to feel like relief, like your shoulders finally dropping, your mind going quiet, your life making sense again. But that's not how it was for me. For the first week after that final doorstep showdown, it was more like a vacuum. Everything was gone. The chaos, the tension, the lies, and what was left behind was just silence. But silence, I learned, is not the same as healing. I thought I was past the worst of it. Thought I'd ripped the stitches out and walked away from the crash site. But it turns out betrayal has an echo. And it keeps bouncing around the walls long after the person is gone. The first echo came 2 nights later. It was around midnight. I could not sleep again. The bed felt wrong. Her pillow still held a faint trace of her shampoo, and I kept catching myself rolling toward her side like some habit that refused to die. So I got up, walked downstairs, and sat in the kitchen in the dark. Then my phone buzzed. I almost did not look. I wanted to pretend it was just spam, or a late-night notification. But curiosity is a dangerous drug. It was an unknown number. Unknown, you do not know me. But you need to know what Madison has been saying about you. My stomach dropped. I stared at the message for a full minute before replying. Me, who is this? No answer. 10 minutes passed. Then came a screenshot. A group chat. Madison's name in it. Per contact photo. A string of messages that were so loaded with venom, I had to read them twice just to believe they were real. Madison, he is pathetic. Still crying over me like I was some kind of angel. He acts like I murdered someone just because I wanted something better. Madison, if you guys saw how he begged me to stay, it was honestly embarrassing. Madison, I think he still thinks we might fix it. El Mayo. There was more. Per laughing about our arguments. Calling me weak. Mocking the way I tried to plan anniversary trips. Saying I was sexless and sad in the last year, and that Ben had reawakened her. I read every word. And then I reread them. And something inside me cracked, but not the way you think. Not in that defeated, gut-punched way I'd been hit so many times before. No. This time something calcified. I'd been mourning the death of a woman who never existed. A version of Madison that was just smoke and projection. But these messages? They stripped the mask completely. There was no accident. No confusion. No falling out of love. There was only contempt. This was not a person who made a mistake. This was a person who enjoyed the damage. Who laughed about it. Who bragged. I called the number. A woman picked up. Hello? She said, cautious. Who are you? I asked. My name is Leah. I used to work with her. I was in that chat for months. I just left the company last week. I could not take it anymore. Why send this to me? Because you deserve to know, she said simply. She's painting you like a joke. Like you re some kind of loser ex-husband she escaped from. And it's not right. I did not know what to say. Eventually I just said thank you. She paused. Also, I think she's planning to try and screw you in the divorce. She mentioned a friend of hers who is a lawyer. Said she could probably get the house if she spun the story right. The house. The one I bought. The one she left. The one where she brought her suitcase full of betrayal and walked out of like it was a hotel lobby. She wanted to take that too. I hung up. And for the first time since this entire mess started, I did not cry. I did not shake. I sat there in the kitchen surrounded by the life she tried to fracture, and I started planning. She thought I'd fold. She thought I'd hand her the keys, the house, the narrative. She forgot who she married. Because I gave her everything once. I trusted her more than I trusted myself. But now I was done playing the fool. She wanted a fight? She was about to get one. There's a moment when grief ends and something else takes its place. Not peace. Not healing. Just clarity. A hard, sharp kind of clarity that cuts through everything soft and sentimental and leaves you standing there awake for the first time in months. I woke up the next morning and did not feel like a ghost anymore. I did not shave. I did not shower. I did not even make coffee. I sat down at my desk, opened my laptop and started pulling files. Posting statements. Joint accounts. Phone records. Mortgage paperwork. I was not going to let her walk away with the house I paid for while she played adult dress-up with a man who probably still borrowed money from his mom. She did not know who she was dealing with anymore. The version of me she manipulated, the one who backpedaled just to avoid conflict, the one who take the blame because she cried fast and fought dirty, that man was buried the moment I read that group chat. So I called a lawyer. Referred by Jason, ironically. The same Jason whose party detonated my marriage. Her name was Sarah Feldman. Sharp. Direct. Zero fluff. After I explained everything, she was silent for a long second. Do you have evidence? She asked. Oh, I've got receipts, I said. I sent her the screenshots, the hotel photos, the iCloud folder, the text from Leah. All of it. Sarah's response? Just 2 words. Let us begin. 3 days later, Madison texted me again. Madison, hey, I need to come by and grab a few more things. Also, we should really talk about splitting the house. Let us be fair. Fair. That word hit different now. Fair was not sleeping alone while she slipped into hotel sheets with another man. Fair was not being ridiculed in private group chats for loving her too hard, trying too much. Fair was a word she weaponized to make herself feel justified. I did not reply. Sarah sent a formal letter to her new lawyer friend. A thick packet with timelines, evidence, witness statements, everything neatly packaged and delivered with the kind of precision you only see in war or high-end legal battles. Madison had not expected that. I knew because 5 hours after it landed in her inbox, my phone lit up. Madison, what the actual F*** is this Eric*? I did not respond. The next message came fast. Madison, you seriously lawyering up? I thought we were going to do this like adults. That was rich? I almost laughed. Then she called. And for whatever reason I picked up. You really doing this? She snapped, her voice already raised like she'd been rehearsing the fight. You actually trying to screw me over now? After everything? After everything? I said, voice called. You mean after the months of lying, cheating, gaslighting, humiliating me behind my back while I paid your phone bill and defended your name to everyone who thought something was off? You bitter, she hissed. You always were. I see that now. No, I said calmly. I'm awake. She went quiet. I continued. You want this to go smoothly? Then stop texting me. My lawyer will handle everything. If you want to keep embarrassing yourself with Ben, go for it. Just do not think you're walking out of this like you're still wearing the crown. Her tone flipped like a light switch. You're doing this because I left you. No, I said, leaning back in my chair. I'm doing this because you thought I'd never get up. Click. She hung up. I did not feel satisfaction. Not really. But I felt still. Grounded. Like the storm finally blew past, and I was standing in the wreckage with my boots on and my spine straight. She thought she broke me. But I was just rebuilding. And when I finished, I'd be better than I ever was, with her dragging behind me like a dead weight wrapped in red lipstick and Instagram quotes about self-love. This was no longer about heartbreak. It was about truth. And for once, I was the one in control. I underestimated her. That's the part 1am still coming to terms with. After everything, after the lies, the affair, the smirks, the absolute scorched earth way she walked out of our marriage, I still did not think she'd go lower. I gave her too much credit. Sarah had warned me. She's going to get desperate, she said, peering over her laptop like she'd seen it 100 times before. They always do when the leverage slips. Desperate in Madison's case did not look like pleading. It looked like poison. It started with a call from HR at my job. I was at my desk, head down in spreadsheets, trying to make my day feel normal when my manager knocked on my door. Got a minute, he said. Tight smile. Awkward energy. Sure. I followed him down the hall, heart thudding. We sat in the conference room across from a woman from corporate. She slid a printed email across the table. I read it. Anonymous complaint. Accusations of inappropriate conduct. Hostile behavior. Unstable mental state due to recent personal issues. I looked up at them. This is a real, I said immediately. The HR rep kept her voice neutral. We're not making assumptions. But we have to take every report seriously. Do you have any idea who might have sent this? I did not even hesitate. Yes. My ex Madison. They let me go back to work. Said they were looking into it. But the look on my manager's face said it all, something had cracked. A shadow had been cast. That's what these things do. They do not need to be true. They just need to exist. I texted Sarah. Me. She asked, trying to burn everything. Send fake complaints to my job. Sarah replied 2 minutes later. Sarah, keep every record. Every call, every message. We hit back hard now. So I did. I checked the email headers, traced it back to a burner Gmail. But the language. The phrasing. It was her. She had this way of writing with drama, like everything needed to be stage ready. He.s. unraveling emotionally, and I fear he might lash out. That line was practically her signature. And then it escalated. Leah, the same girl who sent me those early messages, called me late that night. Her voice was tight, anxious. Have you seen her story? No. Go look. Now. I opened Instagram. Madison had posted a string of vague, moody quotes. Gaslighting is real. Just because you did not hit me does not mean you did not hurt me. Sometimes silence is survival. Then came the picture. A selfie. Red eyes. No makeup. Her head against Ben's shoulder. Caption: grateful for real love after surviving emotional abuse. She did not say my name. She did not need to. People knew. Our friends. Our coworkers. Anyone who'd ever seen us together. She was not just rewriting the story. She was erasing me from it, and replacing me with a cartoon villain. I could have exploded. I could have posted screenshots, dragged her into the dirt with every disgusting receipt I had. But I did not. Because Sarah had a better idea. We were going to sue for defamation. She said, cool as ice. She wants to play public victim. We'll introduce all the evidence, text messages, photos, statements, witnesses. She'll either fold or she'll drown. And that's when something shifted again. I stopped feeling like a man trying to save himself. I started feeling like a man preparing for war. This was not about love anymore. This was about dignity. About reputation. About the way betrayal can rot a person so completely that they start setting fire to everyone they ever knew just to feel warm. She chose to go low. I was going to stay higher. But I was not going to stay silent. The next day I sent out a quiet message to our inner circle. Not a rant. Not a public dragging. Just this. If you've heard anything from Madison about what happened, I just ask you to talk to me directly. I have no interest in drama, just truth. And I've got every piece of it documented. Some did not respond. But some did. And they came with stories. They re-stories. Things Madison had said behind my back for years. Little barbs, little digs. Telling people I was emotionally unavailable, not ambitious enough, clingy. The picture became clear. She'd been rewriting the narrative long before Ben ever showed up. He was not the beginning. He was just the upgrade in her story. The new lead. And me? I was written out in Chapter 6 as the unstable one. But the thing is, when the truth comes out, it does not come quietly. It erupts. And Madison? She had no idea what was coming next. I.T. always gets loud before it falls apart. I did not expect her to stop after the HR stunt, the Instagram smear campaign, or the whispers she planted in our friend circles. But I was not ready for how far she'd go when she realized none of it was working. It started with a knock on my door. Sunday morning? Too early for a friend. Too confident for a stranger. I opened it, and there he was. Then, standing on my porch like he had something to prove, wearing a smug little half-smile that I'm sure worked on her once. But on me? It just looked pathetic. "Can we talk?" he asked. I blinked. "Seriously?" He nodded like he'd practiced this whole thing in a mirror. "I just want to clear the air, Mantuman." That phrase, Mantuman, something about it almost made me laugh. Like he thought we were equals. Like he had not spent the last year orbiting my life like a parasite, feeding off the slow death of my marriage. Still, I stepped outside. Closed the door behind me. He leaned against the porch railing, arms folded, trying to look casual. "I just want to say I did not mean for any of this to get out of hand." "Out of hand, right? Madison's been through a lot," he continued, like I had not been standing in the middle of her emotional wreckage for months. "She said things got toxic between you two. Controlling. Cold." There it was. The final rewrite. I did not say anything. Just let him keep digging. "She told me about how you monitored her messages. How you got weirdly possessive. How she tried to leave, but you manipulated her into staying. That did it?" I stepped forward closer than he expected. He flinched just barely. "Enough. Listen," I said, my voice calmed quiet. "You do not know me. You never did. You only know the story she spoon-fed you while she was sleeping in my house, spending my money and smiling at me like everything was fine." He opened his mouth, but I did not stop. "So let me clarify a few things. I never monitored her messages. She locked her phone on her own. I did not manipulate her. I begged her to talk. And I was not cold. I was exhausted from trying to hold up a marriage she abandoned long before your name ever showed up." He looked away. I took a step back. "You think she's different with you? You think you're special? She told me the same things once. I've never felt this way before. You're the only one who really sees me." Then did not answer. He just stood there, swallowing whatever smug little defense he'd rehearsed. "The next time she cries on your shoulder about how broken I made her," I said, "ask her why she was still using my Netflix account 2 weeks after she moved out." Then I turned and walked inside, shutting the door behind me. And that should have been it. But it was not. That night Sarah called. She's filed a temporary restraining order. I laughed. It came out involuntarily, sharp and bitter. "She's what?" Sarah confirmed it. Madison had gone to court that morning after sending her boyfriend to my house and told the judge she feared for her safety. Claimed I was obsessively texting her, showing up uninvited, aggressively threatening her reputation. All lies. Provable lies. But dangerous ones. "It's temporary," Sarah said. "We'll fight it. And when we win, we're refiling for damages. She wants war? We'll give her one with witnesses, evidence, and a judge." I did not sleep that night. Not because I was afraid. But because I knew something she did not. The moment you fake fear to destroy someone and it fails, there's no coming back from it. The house was quiet. I sat in the living room, lights off, looking around at the place I nearly gave her half of out of guilt. Pity. Habit. Never again. She used to say I was too careful. That I held back too much. She was right. But not anymore. The court date was set for 2 weeks later. I spent every day between then gathering more messages from Leah, statements from Jason, screenshots, emails. Madison had spent the last 6 months sculpting a fantasy where she was the heroine of some emotional survival story. But in real life? She was about to find out what it felt like to be caught in her own lie under oath. This was not about revenge. This was about correction. The final unraveling was coming. And she had no idea how loud it was about to get. The courtroom was smaller than I expected. No towering ceilings. No dramatic lighting. Spage walls, old wood benches, and a judge with tired eyes and a voice that did not care who we used to be to each other. It was not a stage. It was a sorting room for truth and lies. Madison was already seated when I walked in. She did not look at me. Her hair was curled. She wore the soft blue blouse like she was trying to project innocence. Calm. Like the past 6 months had not been a master class in manipulation and slow surgical betrayal. Then was not there. She was alone. My lawyer, Sarah, handed me the folder one last time. Every photo. Every message. The entire timeline laid out like a quiet bomb waiting to go off. The judge opened with Madison's request for the restraining order. Her lawyer, some junior associate from a firm I did not recognize, stood up and began with what he clearly thought was a devastating speech about a woman's right to feel safe and emotional intimidation masquerading as concern. Then Madison spoke. Her voice was quiet, trembling like she was reliving something painful. She painted me as obsessive, controlling, emotionally erratic. Said I had tracked her phone? I did not. Said I followed her in my car? I did not. Said I showed up at her job? I had not even driven past the building since she left. I sat there listening to her rewrite everything, watching her twist real memories into these ugly, weaponized versions of themselves. When she was done, the judge nodded and looked to Sarah. Your witness. Sarah stood. Unbothered. She did not raise her voice. She did not lean into theatrics. She just started with the evidence. First, the texts. Then the screenshots from her private Instagram. Then the witness statements from people who heard Madison laughing at my expense, bragging about driving me crazy, even referring to her plan to bleed me for the house and make it look like his idea. Sarah laid it all out like a quiet storm. Then she called Leah. Leah stepped up to the stand and spoke clearly. Calm. Honest. She was just being the private group chats. Heard Madison joke about her poor, dumb husband. Saw her strategize which lies would be most believable. And then came the final blow. A printout from Madison's own email. Sent to Ben 3 weeks earlier. Subject. He's not going to fight me. Message. He still thinks I'm fragile. Let him. The judge will believe me over him any day. No one ever questions the woman. The judge was silent for a moment. Then he leaned forward, cleared his throat and said without ceremony, temporary order denied. And based on the evidence provided, I'm referring this matter to civil court for potential damages. Miss Carter, I strongly advise you to retain more experienced counsel. Just like that. It was over. Madison did not look at me as she stood. Did not speak. Did not cry. She walked out fast. Shoulder stiff. The room felt colder after she left. Like she'd taken all the heat. The drama, the lies, the performance with her. I stood there for a while. Then I exhaled. Not relief. Not victory. Just emptiness finally cleared out. In the days that followed, she went quiet. No more posts. No more messages. Mutual friends stopped mentioning her. Some reached out to apologize. Others just faded. That was fine. Ben never resurfaced. I heard from someone that he was let go from the firm. Office gossip caught up to him too, it seems. He picked the wrong fantasy. The house? Still mine. Sarah made sure of that. Madison tried to re-enter negotiations. Softer this time. Asking if we could settle things amicably. I declined. Told her I'd rather let a judge decide everything than trust her to keep a single promise. She finally stopped replying. It's been 4 months. The bedroom feels like mine again. I replaced the furniture. Painted the walls. Got rid of every trace of her. Right down to the last chipped mug. Bowie sleeps on her side of the bed now. I think he likes it better this way. I do not check her socials. I do not ask mutuals for updates. I do not wonder if she misses me. Because I know she does not. She did not lose me. She threw me away. And for a long time that wrecked me. But now I see it as a favor. I learned who she was too late to stop the damage. But just in time to stop the future. If you rereading this and you re-seeing signs. Subtle, sharp, painful signs. And your gut is twisting itself into knots to protect your heart. Listen to it. Love is not supposed to feel like slow death. You do not deserve to be confused or minimized or rewritten. You deserve clarity. And when you finally get it, do not run from it. Stand in it. Burn the old version of your story and build a new one. One where you never beg for respect. Where peace is not earned through pain. Where your silence is not mistaken for surrender. I'm not healed. But I'm free. And for the first time in years, that's more than enough.